Welcome, brave listeners, to the threshold of terror. Here, in the shadowed corners of reality, we delve into the stories that whisper in the darkness, the tales that make your blood run cold. Prepare yourself, for what you are about to hear may haunt your waking nightmares. Tonight we explore.
Yes, the oceans are warmer, but not because of climate change. It started with the beluga whales, Dr. Eris Thorne said, his voice a dry rasp that echoed in the dimly lit lecture hall. Their songs, they changed. I shifted in my seat, the uncomfortable plastic creaking beneath me. The Oceanic Anomalies Conference was always a bit of a grab bag, but this year's theme, the hum of the deep, was pushing the boundaries of grab bag and venturing into full-on tinfoil hat convention. Still, Thorne had a certain gravitas. Or maybe it was just the sheer number of slides depicting increasingly bizarre spectrograms. 4 years, Thorne continued, his laser pointer dancing over a particularly unsettling image of swirling sonic frequencies, we've monitored cetacean vocalizations. Complex, beautiful, haunting. But then, this. He clicked to the next slide. It was a recording of a beluga song, but wrong. It was lower, guttural, laced with a vibration that made my teeth itch. We initially dismissed it as environmental noise, Thorne said, his voice dropping to a near whisper. Shipping, sonar, that sort of thing. But it wasn't. It was intentional. A deliberate alteration. He paused, letting the silence hang heavy in the air. The only sound was the gentle lapping of the projected image of the ocean behind him, a disturbingly placid, almost expectant sea. Then came the fish, Thorne said, clicking to a slide showing mass die-offs of various marine species. Not from pollution, not from overfishing. Their inner ears, ruptured, shattered. As if they'd been exposed to some unbearable sonic pressure. A nervous cough rippled through the audience. I glanced around, seeing a mixture of rapt attention and thinly veiled skepticism. I was somewhere in the middle, leaning towards skeptical, but with a growing sense of unease. And then, Thorne said, his voice dropping even further, the warming. He clicked to a slide depicting a graph of rising ocean temperatures. But instead of the gradual, terrifying climb of climate change, this was a jagged, exponential spike. Not gradual, Thorne said. Sudden. As if someone had turned up the thermostat on the entire planet's bathtub. Someone. That word hung in the air, heavy with implication. We investigated every conceivable cause, Thorne said. Volcanic activity, underwater methane releases, even, dare I say it, experimental geoengineering projects. He shot a pointed look at a group of nervous-looking men in dark suits in the back row. But nothing explained the sheer scale, the coordinated nature of the event. He turned to face the audience, his eyes burning with a strange intensity. Then I found it, he said. Buried deep within the data, a pattern. A resonance. A signature. He clicked to the final slide. It was a spectrogram unlike any I had ever seen. A swirling vortex of sonic energy, a chaotic symphony of frequencies that seemed to defy the laws of physics. This, Thorne said, his voice trembling slightly, is the sound of awakening. The lights flickered. The ocean image on the screen began to pulse. A low hum filled the lecture hall, a vibration that resonated deep within my bones. It was the same sound from the beluga recording but amplified, intensified, made malevolent. Panic erupted in the audience. People screamed, scrambling for the exits. The doors slammed shut. He's here, a woman shrieked, pointing at the screen. He's coming. The ocean image on the screen was no longer placid. It was churning, roiling, as if something vast and ancient was rising from the depths. And from the speakers, the hum intensified, becoming a deafening roar. Then a voice. Not a human voice but something else. A chorus of clicks, whistles, and guttural growls, a language that predated humanity, a sound that spoke directly to the oldest, most primal parts of my brain. We have heard your call, it said. We have answered. The walls of the lecture hall began to dissolve. Not physically but perceptually. The solid concrete seemed to become fluid, to flow like water. The room stretched and warped, becoming an impossible Escher painting of twisting corridors and shifting perspectives. My mind, it began to unravel. My memories, my thoughts, my very sense of self, they started to fragment, to break apart like shattered glass. I saw glimpses of other realities, of vast, cyclopean cities beneath the waves, of creatures beyond human comprehension, of a history of the earth that was both terrifying and strangely familiar. This wasn't about warmer oceans. This was about contact. About a reunion with something ancient and powerful, something that had been sleeping in the deep, waiting for the right frequency. And we, in our hubris, in our insatiable quest for knowledge, had provided it. The last thing I remember is the feeling of merging, of being absorbed into something vast and unknowable, of becoming part of the hum. The oceans are warmer, yes, but not because of climate change. They're warmer because something is waking up. And it's very, very hungry.
And so, the darkness claims another tale. We hope you survived this journey into the macabre. If you dare to return for more chilling stories, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell, so you never miss a descent into the abyss. Until next time, sleep well if you can.